Hi, and welcome to Inner Abundant Mindset Podcast. This is a short, no nonsense podcast training to assist you in clearing and shifting prosperity beliefs, mindsets, stuck energy, and all kinds of goodies. I'm your host, Jolene Philbrick, and I'm the author of Reflections and From Tears to Triumph. You can learn more about me at www.jolenephilbrick.com. And on my website, be sure to download a free MP3 called Money, Wealth, and Abundance. And what that does is it helps you, shift those beliefs. Okay, so today on this episode, we're going to be talking about the three types of energy that I observed and what kind of energy are you sending out? So by nature, we are social creatures, and the people that we hang out with influence us every day, and we're just wired that way. And did you know that the people that you spend the most time with will impact your behavior? They influence your attitude, and they'll kind of keep you from getting results, or they'll support you to get those results that you want. So the people that you hang out with, they dominate your attention around conversation, attitudes, behaviors, and eventually you start acting and thinking like they do. So what's really interesting is this quote from Jim Rohn, which I always kind of was a little bit, how does that show up? So the quote goes like this: you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Great. What does that mean? How does it show up in life? Prove it to me. And guess what happened? Because I had this attitude years ago, I was given the opportunity to see how this played out in real life. So I'm going to share a little story with you about this retreat I was at in Danville, Northern California in the mountains. I was with a bunch of play therapists. And if you've never heard of play therapists, they're like regular therapists, except they use arts and crafts and sand toys and little miniatures you put in the sand tray to tell a story. Mainly their clients are children, and children talk through play. They don't sit around like adults and have conversation. You got to play with them to get the information out. So anyhow, this retreat center was basically Franciscans, the Catholic men known as friars, and they wear those brown robes. And it was really quite interesting seeing them walk around on the grounds. And the grounds were beautiful. You'd sit on this bench and you'd see these beautiful rolling green hills, and the wildflowers were out, and all through the gardens and labyrinth, the flowers were blooming, these beautiful reds and yellows and oranges, and the birds were chirping in the sky. Oh, it's just a beautiful, beautiful setting. Okay, before I get into my story, I want to do a little disclaimer. Okay, so one, I'm not against any race, people, religion, or organization. I'm just labeling them so you know who I'm talking about. Okay, that's a disclaimer. So let's get on to the story. So at this retreat center, there were 3 groups of people. And as I'd walk the halls, I'd hear different conversations. And one day I heard this man talk to another man, and he was like bald-headed, tattooed up, tank top on, and he was just kind of rough looking. And it's not somebody I personally want to be around. His energy was just a little too aggressive for me. And I heard him say to the other man, I just got out of jail 2 days ago, and I came here. And the other man goes, well, good for you for coming to a place and getting help. And then another time, early in the morning, I heard this woman say to the other one, let's get in line before breakfast. You want to get there first so you get enough to eat. I'm like, wow, that's an interesting thought. I evidently don't think this way. So anyhow, let's call that group 1. Now, there was a morning I was running a little late and I haven't had my coffee yet, and I'm running up to the coffee area, and I run into this dark-haired man, and he looks at me and he smiles and he opens the door and politely nods and says, "Go ahead." And then I noticed this same group of people, when it came time to grab a plate to go into the buffet, they'd say, "Oh, go ahead. There's plenty of food." You know, he didn't have any concern. He was into happiness and gratitude. I thought, how interesting. And I'd call that group 2. So anyhow, my group, which we'll call group 3, we're the play therapists, and we're in a training, learning, growing, and expanding our mind and abilities. So I spent 3 days with these 3 different groups of people, and we'd pass in the halls and we'd walk the same trails and we'd have our meals together, sit in the common area. And it wasn't until the very last day of the retreat at breakfast did I notice the energy in the room. Now, for those that don't know me, I'm clairvoyant and I pick up on energy. And a lot of times I practice not reading energy because I don't want to invade. But this morning it was so obvious. I just sat there and observed each group. Now, group 1, they were adult children of alcoholics, and they were to my left. And the energy they sent off was struggle, hardship, lack, anger. And they have this attitude, this almost like a fighting attitude. I better get it before it's all gone. They were only into their own world, and they didn't notice you. They wouldn't smile. They didn't open the door for you. They were just kind of tough, would be my language. They were tough. And then to my right were a group of Latinos, and they had a priest with them, and they were radiating this peace and love and happiness. And these group of people, they are very observant. They were of service. They would help you if you needed help. They were polite and they were happy. And they just seemed to radiate this energy of like faith and trust. And what was really interesting is Sunday morning, they started their morning out at 5 a.m. and they must have done some kind of spiritual ceremony because the mariachis were playing and they were having some kind of service. Now, group 1, I don't know how their morning started out, but I do know that they had the main church area where they had their meeting. So I don't know how they started their day. But these people, I noticed all the women were carrying flowers and they were all glowing and they were all just radiating some kind of spiritualness from them. And then in the middle of the room, I'm in group 3, which was the play therapist. And I noticed we were holding the space. We were the healers. We were the bridge. And I just observed the energy I was in and how it was different from group 1 and how it was different from group 2. And it proved to me that it really is true that the people you hang out with influence you. Now, there's nothing wrong with a group of people you choose to hang out with because, you know, being human, we observe and we learn and we mimic other humans. But what's interesting is that you can change this behavior. You can change the people you hang out with. You know, right now, if you're hanging out with a bunch of people that smoke and drink and gossip and they're really negative, and you're saying, I don't want that anymore, you can change that by changing the people you hang out with. So if you're around all these people with bad habits, then you would want to find a group that has good habits. So let's say you're a timid person and you hang out with people that are mirroring you. They're shy and quiet, and you guys don't do anything exciting. And you decided, that's it, I want to be an extrovert. How do I do that? Well, you go out where the extroverts are. You join some kind of outdoor group and you go hiking or mountain climbing, or you do something adventuresome. And if you want to be more successful, then you want to hang out with successful business people or somebody that's already done it, somebody that's a little bit ahead of you. And you know, you can find these people at any entrepreneur meetup, networking event. And then what if you go, oh my gosh, my tummy's a little fat. I need to lose some weight. I have some bad eating habits. You don't exercise. And you go, I want to change that. So what do? You find an opportunity to find people that are healthier than you. Like you could join a hiking group, or you can go to the gym and meet somebody or get an exercise buddy, whatever it is you want. So the thing is to stop worrying about the actual thing you do. Instead, start focusing on the people that you want to surround yourself with and build relationships with them. You know, go join a club, meetup, networking, anything like that. And you will end up shifting your energy. And remember, it's about a choice. Group one had this energy: struggle, lack, hardship, get it before it's gone. Group two had this energy of gratitude, love, peace, harmony. And group three, we were just the healers supporting the room, you could say. So if you're having a really hard time with limiting beliefs or shifting energy, I would love to help you. Just email me at JolenePhilbrick.com and put mindset in the subject line. And I'd love to schedule a time to chat and see how I could support you. There's no obligation. So just send me an email and I would love to hear from you. So I hope you have a great day. Until next time. Bye.